What is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. Hope everybody's doing great. I'm awesome as always. Why? Because we got the NFL Scouting Combine. It is beginning today on Tuesday. Going to run through the entire weekend all the way to Sunday. You got to love it. The weigh-ins, the weight room, the 40 dash. We're going to see some shuttle drills. I love it. I know a lot of people, even I've seen some national media discuss that the Combine and the NFL teams are not even sending their coaches anymore. I don't buy it for 1 second. I get it. The offseason is hard to find some storylines, but there's more than enough to get you interested in the Combine. We got to see how these players operate without pads. And everyone's going to say, why? What's the relevance in that? I'm telling y'all, you got to understand these player movements, the motions, and how they operate without pads, without defenses in front of them. You get a very much a great eye view of how these players are built and put together that way. It's a very important tool, I guess I should say, for us scouts, especially for me. I love it, man. It gives me another edge in my scouting books and how I'm going to put things together. But you got to understand the players we need to watch in this Combine. I'm only going to do offense because the defense, I mean, there's like 330 players or something coming to the Combine. I'm going to go with only offense in this show. So we'll start off with quarterbacks. And I mean, okay, Stetson Bennett right off the bat. Everybody's saying, yeah, he's not that great, whatever. I'm interested. I really am. Can he be an NFL quarterback in this league, a.k.a. something like a Jimmy Garoppolo, an Alex Smith type of quarterback? That's kind of what I'm looking for from Stetson Bennett. Yes, okay, it took him some time. He is like 35 years old. But, I mean, I'm interested. I like what Stetson Bennett was able to do in his final 2 years with the Georgia Bulldogs. So I'm definitely watching what Stetson Bennett's going to put on the field, and I'm very curious to see how his NFL career does go. Malik Cunningham, Louisville. Okay, he was like, the understudy of the Lamar Jackson era type deal. And I mean, okay, he's not Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to throw it out there. But I do like Malik Cunningham. I think he's got that rushing upside. He's got the ability to be something of a good backup potential, game takeover when your starter goes down with injury. Something like we see with Baltimore, how they hedge their bets with Lamar, with a Huntley, for example. That's kind of what you're going to get from a Cunningham. But I want to see what he can do. I believe in the kid. I think he's got a lot of skills that he can put on the field. Everyone's going to be talking about Max Duggan. I think I've seen enough right now to peg what he's going to be. I'm still going to watch him, but I'm not highlighting him to be a player to watch in this one. Jaren Hall, BYU. Everybody's going to criticize BYU right now because of what Zach Wilson did not do on the field in the NFL. Hall is an interesting one. I'm interested, okay? Am I over the moon, over the hill on this guy? No, but I'm interested. That's what I got to say. So I'm definitely going to watch out for his skills right now. Hendon Hooker, too bad he's injured. He's not going to perform in this one. Will Levis, Kentucky. Here's a big one as well. There's a lot of noise going on that Levis could be the second quarterback taken off the board. They're saying Young first, Levis second. I don't buy it yet because I think the inadequacy in his accuracy and his ball placement is going to inhibit his stock to go down. But a good combine will definitely lift his stock and get someone to reach on his services. No kidding. Anthony Richardson, same type of deal, loaded with potential, loaded with skill sets, just extremely raw. So we'll see what he can do. He's been training a lot. The videos do look good, so we'll see what he can do at the Combine. CJ Stroud, my guy. I do have him pegged as the number one quarterback in this draft class right now over a Bryce Young. It's very minuscule, like I've been saying, but I'm all in. Team CJ Stroud. I'm all in on this guy. I think he is absolute dynamo. He's going to show it at the Combine as well. DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, UCLA Bruins. I like his game too, and I think he's going really far under the radar right now, and I think that's disrespectful. I think his game is a lot better than a lot of people do realize, and hopefully he does have a good combine because I'm definitely looking for it as well. Bryce Young obviously just mentioned the big news that he's not going to participate in throwing practice in this combine, which was interesting to me, and I didn't understand why. Obviously, he feels like he's done more than enough to supplant himself as the number one overall pick, so he doesn't want to, take that down a notch with any kind of missteps or mistakes. So it's interesting that Bryce Young is not going to throw. But for running backs, there's a slew of them as well, and I got a bunch that I'm going to be paying a lot of attention to. Devin A-Chain, my guy, Mr. Speedy. Okay, everyone's going to talk, and there's a lot of players that are undersized in this draft at both running back and wide receiver. A-Chain is one of those guys as well, but he's super speedy, tougher than a lot of people realize. I love his game. I'm a big fan of Devin A-Chain. Tank Bigsby, Auburn. Another one you got to keep an eye on. He kind of fell off 2 seasons ago, lost that steam, but he had a good year last year, and I'm still a pretty big fan of Bigsby. I think he's a good, solid potential workhorse back that could be a good change of pace guy to a speedy type of back. I think that's what Bigsby gives. He's a very tough runner. Chase Brown, Illinois. I think he's a very good, underrated running back right now. A lot of people getting on the bandwagon as we got into this process already before the combine, after the Super Bowl. A lot of people really talking up a Chase Brown. I do like his game a lot as well. Looking for him to showcase his talents. Zach Charbonnet, UCLA. He's in the top 4 of most, NFL scouts rankings right now. I'm a fan. I think he's a good, he's a big guy. Similarly to how I scouted a Ramondre Stevenson, a lot of people said you're crazy, and I said, he's 240 pounds. Ramondre Stevenson was, but he had light feet of a ballerina, and Charbonnet is. I think he's a little bit lesser in the light feet than a Ramondre is. But Charbonnet just does everything you want him to do. He catches the ball. He bulldozes guys. He's got wheels. I like his game a lot. He's put together. He's very big. Charbonnet is one that's definitely going to, get a lot out of this combine if he does perform extremely well. Travis Dye, USC. I've always been a fan of Dye, even before he transferred to USC. I think he's got a lot to prove in this one. He can definitely turn a lot of heads with some good ability in this combine. He is a good pass-catching back. Could find himself as a third down, third back role in the NFL. I really want him to show out here a lot. Zach Evans, Mississippi, a lot of noise about him, but apparently he's injured, will not participate. That's too bad for that one. I was really looking forward to seeing him in the drills and the competition. Just not going to happen. Gibbs, Alabama. Okay, and everyone's talking like he's the next coming of Alvin Kamara. Let's see it. I mean, I've already studied his film. He looks damn good as it is. Anyway, I'm just curious to see how it looks at the combine. I want to see how he runs. His fluidity is going to be extremely important for me to continue to lift him up my rankings. Eric Gray, Oklahoma, big fan of his. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this man's services. He is a very capable running back, could potentially be a 3-down back in the NFL. He doesn't have the over-end, top-end wheels that you like to see, but he is a very capable running back. Mohamed Ibrahim, Minnesota. He did come off that Achilles, and we'll see what he does. I mean, that's the pain point on him, that he did come back from the Achilles injury. I really do like his game a lot. I think he is a very fantastic running back. I'm very, glad he's participating, and I hope he does very well at the combine. Didn't see if he's hampered by any injury, so I'm hoping he's going to be good to go. Roschon Johnson, Texas. I got big expectations for Roschon coming into this draft process. I think he is a very, very good running back, and he will pay dividends. He might be a day 3 product, day 2 product, 3rd round to 4th round product. So I really do like myself a Roschon, and I think some team that grabs him is going to score huge in that respect. McBride is not participating with injury as well. That's a shame. Wanted to see what he could do. Kenny McIntosh, on the other hand, he is that pass-catching back. I'm very curious to see what he's going to do. He got hurt, I believe, at the Senior Bowl. I'm not sure if he did come back, so I'm hoping he's going to participate as well. He's got that kind of James White type of ability in him, so I'm very curious to see what he's going to do. Kendre Miller, TCU. And, I was a little bit light on, pushing his services. I think his game is very strong, and he should be able to show out here at the combine. Bijan Robinson goes without question. We're watching Bijan because hopefully he's going to turn out, turn the lights off, basically, and say it's over because I'm the best running back in the class, because it is Bijan. He is an absolute stud. Taji Spears, Tulane. And he's picking up steam too. Looked great at the Senior Bowl, so we'll see if he can continue that upward trend of putting him up in the ranks. His draft stock should increase with a great combine as well. Good 40 time, and he will see his stock increase massively. Tavion Thomas, Utah. This guy is being slept on in every circle that I see right now. Not in mine. Pay attention to Thomas because he is a very good, capable running back. Showed it with the Utes, and I love his game. I really do. I will be shocked to see if he does not get drafted, but he will be a top priority undrafted rookie free agent if he does not make it in the draft. But he is one to definitely watch out for. I'm a big fan of Thomas, and I hope he does damage here at the combine. Sean Tucker, Syracuse. I just don't want to see him do anything bad. That's where I'm at with Sean Tucker. I just want him to confirm everything that I've already seen on film, that he is a very stout running back. This running back class is absolutely loaded, if you can tell. There's a lot of quality running backs that you're going to be able to get, hence why they may drop and not get picked until the second round outside of Bijan. He should get picked in the first round. Everyone else in the second round, obviously, and third, and then some after that. But I mean, Bijan is the cream of the crop, and then you got everybody else in their tier evaluation. Sean Tucker, to me, is a very, very good running back. Deuce Vaughn, the jitterbug. I'm calling him the jitterbug because he stands at 5'3". I'm kidding. I'm not disrespecting the man. He's like 5'6". 5'5". He's a smaller dude, but he's got wheels. He's got strength, and Deuce Vaughn is going to turn into a fan favorite for everybody. Keep your eyes on the jitterbug, Deuce Vaughn. He is a fan favorite of mine. Wide receiver time. I mean, there's like 50 of these guys. Jordan Addison, USC. A lot of people talking a lot of smack right now saying the weight does not cut it. He is undersized and underweight, and I don't buy it for a second. We've seen wide receivers with 180 pounds, 175 pounds, and they're still doing damage in the NFL. They can put on 10 pounds in an NFL weight room by snapping their fingers. So Jordan Addison still with the skill set. He is an absolute beast on the field. You cannot fade that whatsoever, even though he is undersized. Ronnie Bell, Michigan. I'm very intrigued. Every time I watch this man's tape, he reminds me of a lesser Emmanuel Sanders. It's so reminiscent to me right now. And like I said, the more I continue to chop up his film, the more it screams out a lesser Emmanuel Sanders. So I'm hoping he does pretty well. Kayshon Boutte, LSU, former wide receiver university, I guess we could say. But, I mean, they've turned out some quality, talented wide receivers. Yes, Boutte did deal with some injuries. He flirted with going back to LSU for his another senior season. Came into the NFL draft, so I'm happy to see it. I really hope that he's likely going to get passed over, even with a solid combine, because the productivity just wasn't there in consistent form. But Kayshon Boutte, to me, is a stud, and if he lands on a good team, get ready. I mean, could you imagine if Boutte goes to somebody like Kansas City and it's Patrick Mahomes? Everybody's going to say, how the hell did he fall in this draft, which could be very possible. I'm a huge fan of Kayshon Boutte. We got Darius Davis, TCU. I'm very, very curious. Haven't done enough film study to give my full opinion on his game just yet, so this is going to be a good one for me to see how he is on the field, catching passes, running routes, etc. Tank Dell, Houston, Mr. Speedy himself. Houston just seems to turn out extremely fast wide receivers. The Buffalo Bills know something about that with Marquez Stevenson. I mean, I think Dell's a little bit better than Stevenson was, but I mean, we'll see. Dell is the way he was running routes at the Senior Bowl, you got to take a notice of that. Hopefully he turns out here at the Combine. Dontre Demis Jr., Maryland. I mean, he broke his leg. If you go back, I believe it was 2 years ago, it was one of the ugliest things you have ever seen. That leg human legs should not bend in that direction ever. You felt bad for him. I'm rooting for him more than anything. That's why I got him listed here. I hope he does show out because he does have some skills. Hope he's over that injury full bore because it was just absolutely gruesome how that leg bent. Josh Downs, North Carolina. My guy, Josh Downs. He is the unstoppable force. I get it. He's not the super flashy guy you're looking for, but all he does is make plays. He can play the outside. He's a slot magician. He's got glue for hands. Separation is all over the film. I love Josh Downs with, he's likely top 3 for me, top 4. I mean, I haven't done my rankings for my wide receivers officially just yet, but Josh Downs, I'm a huge fan, and he is definitely up my board big time. Zay Flowers, he put on some pounds. He's up to 183. He showed some pics on Twitter, looking a little bit more cut up and a little more beef on the wagon there. Zay Flowers is an absolute stud. It's interesting. I don't want to say it, but he could turn out to be one of those Antonio Brown dudes that a lot of people were like, he turned a corner, 2 years ago, and then showed flash this past year. Unbelievable season he's coming from. Zay Flowers is a dog. He's a stud. He's a playmaker. He's got jets for days. Everybody's going to fall in love with Zay Flowers in a minute at the Combine. I'm telling y'all. Antoine Green, North Carolina, another North Carolina product. He's an interesting one because he could be a very good secondary wide receiver, something like a Diami Brown type of deal. I know Diami's not getting his NFL career off to the right start and on the right foot just yet, but Antoine Green is very good and capable, in my opinion. I like his game. I'm hoping he has a great combine. Hazelwood, Arkansas. He is a transfer from Oklahoma, and I mean, he did fairly well. I'm just interested. I'm intrigued. I'm not, promoting his services just yet, but Hazelwood, if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, but I mean, he's a good talent, another secondary wide receiver that you're going to see, and that's the point, man. There is, 6 to 7 pretty good to great wide receivers in this class, and then the fall-off is pretty drastic, so you're going to see a lot of secondary wide receiver 2s, wide receiver 3s, slot wideouts coming from this class, so at the Combine, you're definitely going to see that. Xavier Hutchinson, Iowa State, he's got some baller ability. And I think, what you getting him for, the possessional type of wide receiver that you want with length. He's tall. He can do it. He's got good hands. I like his game a lot. I'm looking for him to show out here at the Combine. Hyatt, man, from Tennessee. And, okay, the speed. I really believe this kid could run a 4.3. He is just lightning quick, lightning fast. He just blows past defensive backs on the film. Hayden Hooker had no problems finding this man on the regular. He just blew up this past season in the air raid Tennessee offense. You got to love it. So Hyatt is definitely one I'm keeping huge tabs on because he could be a Buffalo Bill draft pick if you think about it. So, I mean, we'll see. His stock could definitely increase that much more in the first round with a great combine. Andrei Yosevash from Princeton. And he's one of my favorite names. I think that's why I got him on the board. No, Yosevash, he's an interesting one. Yes, he goes to Princeton. He's an intelligent wide receiver, and he does have some skills. So I'm very curious to see what he looks like at the Combine. Continuing with wide receivers, Jaden Reed, Michigan State. He's got wheels also for days. He had dealt with a lot of injuries, so I'm looking to see what he can do at the Combine. Rashee Rice, SMU. I need to see a massive bounce back from Rice because the Senior Bowl did not do it for me. Left me, saying, good Lord, Rice, what are you doing? He just could not separate versus any of the defensive backs. They owned him that entire time. I got to see something, just anything out of Rice from the Combine to, at least start singing the good graces because he does have playmaking ability. He really does. 25 touchdowns in his career in college. So there is ability there, but you got to see him be able to separate. Otherwise, he's only going to try to attempt contested catches throughout his career. But, I mean, whatever. We'll move on from that. Jackson Smith-Njigba. You guys know my game, man. I love me some JSN. He is one of the best wide receivers in this class, if not the best. I love his game. You got his former teammates in Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson already coming on record and, pumping his tires saying, he is better than we are. Wilson said that of him. He said he's the best wide receiver of the three. You got to take that for what that is when you're with a former team. And I get it. They're trying to uplift his stock as well. But to be that gracious, I mean, it comes with something, man. Jackson Smith-Njigba can play ball, athletic freak, no kidding. And I love his game. I think he's an absolute stellar prospect, and he should be in the first round, no kidding. Cedric Tillman, Tennessee, he's interesting to me. Here's kind of that drop-off we're seeing as well. Tillman is that secondary wide receiver piece, but I do believe he's got a lot of talent that could promote in an NFL offense as a secondary piece. Very much looking for him to show out in this one. Parker Washington, same type of deal. A lot of people love his game. He's not like in that Jahan Dotson category at all to me, and that's how some people are preaching it. Parker Washington does have some abilities, has some skills. I just got to see it more. I can't wait to chop up his film in depth because I want to confirm my bias as it stands right now, but I do believe Parker Washington is good enough to be in the NFL. I just got to know how good he is. I'm very much curious to see what he does here at the Combine. Jenkins, LSU. Okay, again, it's one of these things that's that I'm kind of unsure about his game right now. I want a little bit more proof in the pudding, and I can't wait to chop up his film that much more also, but I'm definitely watching Jenkins' game here at the Combine. Quentin Johnson, TCU, we know he is one of the best wide receivers in this class. Just don't want to see him mess up. You just want to see him, do the work, do the do, and go home and show everybody what you're capable of, even though we already know what he is definitely capable of. Charlie Jones, Purdue, another one. Secondary wide receiver. We'll see how he does. Malik Knowles, Kansas State. I'm a big fan of his. I think he is being slept on too much also, and he could turn out to be something of a big-time sleeper at the wide receiver position. Do not sleep on Malik Knowles. I do like his game. I think he's impressive as we sit today. Marvin Mims Jr., Oklahoma. And, okay, I watched a lot of OU when it was Spencer Rattler and it was Caleb Williams, the whole debacle when Rattler got benched. And, I mean, Marvin Mims, I was excited 2 years ago about a Marvin Mims. I thought he could be that guy that could take the next step. I just haven't seen near enough. Yes, he does make highlight reel catches, the one-handers, the sideline toe drag swag. We've seen it all from Mims, which is a positive. Can you do it once? That's great. Can you continue consistently is the other problem I have. So Marvin Mims, I'm interested. I'm falling off the wagon just a little, so I'm looking for a little bit of oomph from Mims in this one, man. Jonathan Mingo, Mississippi. Interesting cat, and I mean, I like his game. Again, there's just no wow. There's no pizzazz. There's no flash for me to, sit here and tell you that he is a bona fide, great-time NFLer, potential fantasy football product. But I do like his game, so I really am rooting for him also. I hope he does do something here at the Combine to turn people's heads. And Joseph Nada from Clemson, another one. He did rise and fall, very quickly. A lot of, hype on the game. Didn't necessarily materialize. And then you're kind of like, well, what is he? Where are we at with a Joseph Nada? I'm hoping he does something here at the Combine as well. Finishing it off with tight ends. And it's not a great class. It's a deep class, but it's not like overly elite, if we're going to say that. I think we're going to find a lot of quality tight ends in this class that are going to play a long time, and it's going to be in that Ty Conklin type of mold, I want to say, outside of a few. I think that's kind of what you're getting from this class. And, I mean, Payne Durham from Purdue, I'm a big fan of his. He fits in that mold. Very good blocking tight ends, very good receiving. They got the dual threat ability, which is making a very much coveted class for a lot of NFL teams. They can still play on the line, but they can still go out and play receiver, which is great. Payne Durham, to me, is one of these guys. Watch out for him. I'm a big fan of his as well. Dalton Kincaid, the Utes. He's a good one, man, and, I mean, he can catch anything to come his way. He is definitely a bona fide, stellar tight end prospect that a lot of people will see what he is made of and capable of as he goes through this combine process, and you will see teams, drafting him rather early because he does have a lot of great pass-catching ability. Sam Laporta from Iowa. I like him, and he's a great blocking tight end, and on the play-action pass, he's unstoppable. So I really like his game. He's a sound, bully type of guy. I got a soft spot for these types of guys, and Laporta is one I'm definitely looking for a good combine. Michael Mayer, everyone knows, Notre Dame, he's likely the top tight end off the board in this class. He's got a lot of skills. A lot of people downing him as we've already gotten into the offseason. I've seen it a lot on Twitter. Not sure I agree. I think Michael Mayer is one of these guys, and everyone wants to say, what is it, short arms, lack of speed, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't preclude these tight ends from being absolutely dominant on the field, and I think Mayer is going to find his way to be a dominant tight end in the NFL. He's just got too much ability and too much skill for me to turn my head from that. Luke Musgrave, Oregon State. He's been jumping up a lot of boards as well. I'm very intrigued. Don't know enough about his game right now to, form an opinion overall whether I like him or not. So that's why I'm saying I gotta watch this guy right now. Britton Strange, Penn State. Interesting prospect. Penn has been, producing some quality tight ends. I mean, we got the Pat Freiermuth, the Muth. He came out of Penn State, so maybe Strange could do a lesser type of Muth. Highly unlikely, but I'm very interested to see what he's got. And then we got the behemoth of a human being in Darnell Washington from UGA. This guy is an absolute, just a unit, man. What is he, like 6'8", 280? He's got athletic ability for days, and, I mean, he can make any catch that comes his way. Darnell Washington is definitely one everybody should be paying attention to because you're going to need Brinks trucks to bring this guy down when he's on the field. He just is that damn good. But there you go. There are some players to watch on the offensive side for the NFL Combine as we kick off here on Tuesday. Just getting started, getting warmed up. You know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be watching this Combine all weekend long. I can't wait for the drills. It's a great tool for us scouts, any young scouts out there that are just starting, putting their feet in the water of the scouting department. I mean, definitely go to watch the Combine because it's a good tool for you to round out your thought process on a lot of these rookies. If you had any question marks on their game, you can see a lot of things from the Combine and how they play ball. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. Who are you excited about in the Combine? Because I just listed a ton of players. Name some off for me. Drop them in the comments. I'll definitely answer you back. We can discuss what you want. Say hi, man. I'm hi. That's all you need, man. And we're good. But nevertheless, we'll see you next time. I am out.